Welcome to Megamind. I am Monica.
And I am David.
A quick reminder, please give us a like, hit the bell, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for being here and supporting us.
Today we're unpacking a topic that gets wrapped in lists, loud slogans, and a very dramatic beard. Testosterone, strength, and the stories we tell ourselves. I promise we'll keep it friendly, cheeky, and actually useful.
Cheeky but kind, like telling your mate he's got spinach in his teeth and then handing him the napkin. Let's start with how those 5 signs you're a proper bloke posts reel people in. It's always 5 signs, never 4.5.
5 is a power number, feels neat. You tick the boxes and suddenly you're part of the club. The problem is, bodies aren't spreadsheets. Hormones behave like the sea, tides in, tides out, and seagulls nicking your chips when you're not looking.
This is why a single list can't hold your life. People want control in one page, comparison without embarrassment, and identity on demand. Lovely in theory. In practice, it's like trying to carry a sofa up the stairs on your own. Possible, but your neighbors will hear words.
What helps is swapping slogans for stuff you can repeat. I like to picture those posters of an ageless strongman balancing a boulder on one finger. It's funny and quietly cruel. Looks impressive, teaches nothing.
We will keep the fun of the poster and retire the nonsense. Let's get the simple science straight. Testosterone is made mainly in the testes and then, also in ovaries and adrenals in women. It rides around your bloodstream with carriers. Some of it turns into DHT, which is like the spicy key for certain locks. And some becomes estradiol, which is brilliant for bones and mood.
This is why 2 people with similar blood levels can look and feel totally different. Your tissue receptors, your conversion enzymes, your sleep, training, food, stress, sunlight, even how often you see mates, all of that acts like dials on a mixing deck. The music of your life isn't just volume, it's balance.
Morning levels tend to be higher, evenings lower. Age nudges the average down, but habits still do loads. You can nudge things up by lifting, sleeping well, and reducing excess body fat if that's relevant. Or you can thump everything sideways with stress, alcohol, and trying to live on energy drinks and vibes.
Supplements, then. The Isle of Hope. Most over-the-counter stuff reads like fantasy football for herbs. A few help indirectly by improving sleep or calm, which helps the whole person. But if you're chasing a dramatic hormone bump from a capsule, you'll probably end up chasing forever. Proper change comes from habits or medical treatment when there's a real deficiency and a real plan.
Which brings us to skin. People love deciding what your pores say about your soul. Oily skin can be influenced by androgens, true, but it can also be your family lottery ticket. If you're greasy at noon, you are not automatically a Viking king. You might just need a gentle cleanser and to stop scrubbing your face like you're sanding a bench.
Adult breakouts that kick off suddenly can hint at a hormonal shift or a drug effect. Anabolic cycles have a knack for announcing themselves on your forehead. But general day-to-day, a sane routine beats witchcraft. Non-comedogenic products, patience, and a truce with your mirror.
And while we're in the bathroom, let's talk hair. Here's the paradox people miss. The same hormone that thickens hair in certain places can shrink scalp follicles in the genetically sensitive. That's why the chest is auditioning for a wildlife documentary, while the hairline is quietly retiring.
Region-specific effects. It's not nature being fickle, it's biology being local. And your family tree is more honest than any influencer's grid. Some men with modest levels grow grand beards. Some with higher numbers don't. Choose the style that suits your life, not the tribe you think you must impress.
And leave other people's faces alone. If your mate wants to keep his beard because his toddler calls it a chin forest, let the chin forest thrive.
Mood is another classic myth. People say testosterone equals rage. It's more about approach motivation and status seeking. In a solid environment, that looks like leadership and persistence. In a chaotic environment, it can look like impatience. Add stress hormones and you get the wobbles.
Practical fix list. Sleep properly, train regularly, breathe slower than your stress, and speak like a grown-up. Say what you want and when, not who someone is. That one shift saves relationships, teams, and the odd dinner.
Speaking of dinner, what's for tea after this recording?
Roast chicken and a salad that doesn't pretend to be angelic. Enough olive oil to make it interesting. Also, a pudding if I fancy one. Balance, darling.
I remember the time I tried a bulking diet from a forum, ate like a bear that found a pastry factory. The only thing I built was a new respect for belt notches.
This is your seasonal reminder that muscle isn't magic. Testosterone supports the process, but progress comes from progressive overload, compound patterns, sensible protein, and sleep. A bit boring, which is why it works. Add a deload every so often so your joints don't write a breakup letter.
For protein, a practical ballpark is roughly 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilo of target body weight, spread across meals. That's not a commandment, it's a sensible lane. If you enjoy food and cook at home most days, you can hit that without living in a shaker bottle.
And make one big pot of something for midweek. Future you will curtsy.
Quick turn to voice. Puberty hands out lower pitches by enlarging the larynx and vocal folds. Adult testosterone variations don't swing your pitch daily, but you can absolutely train how you use your voice. Breathe low, pause more, project by shaping words instead of shouting, and stand like you mean the sentence.
I did a whole week of reading children's stories aloud to practice pace and warmth. You'd be surprised how much your boardroom improves after you've conquered the very hungry caterpillar with gravitas.
That bolder image keeps sneaking back. Let's name it. It stands for expectations you didn't choose, jobs you can't drop, and the idea that a perfect body will armor you against life. The cruel trick is the hero is always alone.
Real strength is relational. We share loads. We ask for a spotter. We borrow better systems. You can be the strongest person in the room and still set up a grocery delivery, a carpool, or a walking group. Some people act like that's cheating. I call that adulthood.
Pillars time. Resistance training 2 to 4 days a week, daily steps with daylight if possible, proper food with protein and plants, keep body fat within a range that suits your health, sleep decently, practice stress skills, be honest about alcohol, and see a clinician if red flags keep waving. 8 boring pillars, endless dividends.
It doesn't look sexy on social media, but your joints, mood, and bank account will all send thank you cards.
Let's do a whimsical detour. Monica, tell them your most chaotic gym story.
Easy. Tried to be mysterious with chalk on a humid day. Clapped my hands like a magician. A cloud formed and set off the fire sensor. The staff gave me a look usually reserved for people who microwave fish at the office. Lesson learned. Chalk small, lift big.
My turn. University gym. Thought sumo deadlifts meant sumo attire would help. Bought a cheap belt that squeaked. Every rep sounded like I'd smuggled a trapped mouse into the building. Confidence is sometimes the gap between who you think you are and what your belt is saying.
Food tangent. Do you salt before or after cooking?
Both. A bit before, a bit after. Layers, like good training. And for the record, chips do not count as salad just because they're near lettuce.
I try to keep a 5-minute window of tidying as a habit, same as a 5-minute window of mobility. It's not a grand plan. It's repeating easy things that make heavy things lighter. That theme keeps coming up today.
Speaking of easy repeats, here's a weekly blueprint idea. 2 lower body days, 2 upper body days, 1 long, easy walk with mobility, 1 fun, active thing at the weekend, and a full rest day. 3 or 4 meals a day with a palm of protein each time, produce at each meal, and carbs parked near training if that suits you. Sleep with a fixed wake time and make your room dark and cool. 10 minutes a day for breath, prayer, or journaling. 1 hour a week invested in a friend. 1 date night if you're partnered, 1 learning or social event if you're not.
That blueprint is gloriously unglamorous, which is a compliment. Glamour is for red carpets, consistency is for everything else.
A word on when to see a professional. If you've got persistently low libido, erectile difficulties that don't match the rest of your context, unshifting fatigue, strength dropping for no reason, mood stuck in a ditch, morning erections gone missing when you usually had them, sudden breast changes or signs of thyroid, diabetes, or sleep apnea, that's not a DIY moment. Book the appointment. Ask for a proper workup that looks at hormones in context and also checks the basics like blood count, lipids, thyroid markers, glucose, vitamin D, and iron if relevant.
And talk about fertility plans before any treatment. Future you deserves a seat at the consultation.
We also need to talk about the commerce of masculinity. Identity-driven messages sell. If a product convinces you that your worth rides on a molecule, you'll keep buying. A better money test is whether the thing helps you repeat good days. Gym you actually attend beats boutique membership you brag about. Groceries you cook beat powders you forget.
Same for apps. The best one is the one you open and use to put a plan on paper. Loyal pen and a cheap notebook have saved more lives than most shiny dashboards.
Life stages matter. Teen years are for learning technique and sleeping like a champion. 20s to 40s are for steadiness and building patterns that survive work and love. Midlife is for protecting muscle, mobility, and mood while you keep body fat from creeping and you get routine checks. Later life is for strength, balance, and connection, so you can garden, carry grandkids, travel, and keep laughing. Therapy or medical support can be a gift when truly indicated. The point is to feel well enough to live, not to worship a number.
There's a chapter we need to live out loud. Relationships and the courage to ask for help. People often hide tiredness, sadness, or the slow simmer of frustration behind the mask of competence. Saying, I'm just like this because hormones, can become a shield that keeps you lonely.
Courage looks boring from the outside. It's messaging a friend to train together. It's telling your partner you're struggling with sleep and need help getting a routine. It's booking the GP visit. It's therapy when mood won't shift. The rock gets lighter the moment you stop pretending you're meant to hold it alone.
Quick practical intermission. Remember to share and subscribe. Thank you.
Nice timing. Now back to the rock. Imagine the strong man puts it down and joins a club. Suddenly the roar turns into laughter. Someone teaches him to hinge better. Someone else brings snacks. The beard gets caught in a barbecue lid, and someone produces scissors. That's community. Status comes from service and skill, not theater.
If you're thinking, what can I start today? Text one person and set a weekly walk. Put a simple plan on a page. Choose a bedtime. Buy food you'll actually cook. None of it will go viral. All of it will change you.
I want to throw in a mini segment on voice again because it's a strange superpower. Record yourself presenting. You'll hate the first playback. Everyone does. Then adjust breath, slow down, add pauses, relax your jaw, and try again. A month later, you'll recognize your own authority, not because it's lower, but because it's calmer.
Also, train grip. It's the cameo star of useful strength. Carry heavy bags, hold a dead hang, open jars without drama. There's a confidence that comes from feeling competent with everyday tasks. It spills over into meetings, parenting, and how you move in the world.
Parenting tangent. My niece thinks push-ups are called up-downs. She counts to 5 and declares herself national champion. Honestly, that's the energy we need. Celebrate small, consistent wins. If you did 2 sessions this week after 3 weeks off, you're back. No apologies.
Food debate round 2. Sweet or savory breakfast?
Savory. Keeps me even.
I go both ways depending on training. If I've lifted, oats with yogurt and fruit. If it's a desk day, eggs and greens. The adult move is matching food to the day rather than forcing the day to the food.
Another mythbuster, you don't need to feel aggressive to be driven. Most of the productive high performers I know look almost chilled. They're not low energy. They're channeled. That comes from sleep, boundaries, and a bias for action over argument.
Boundaries say you'll be somewhere for an hour and actually leave after an hour. Decline politely. People respect the person whose yes means yes because their no also means no.
Training note for those returning after a break. Start lighter than your ego allows. If you go too hard, your DOMs will file a formal complaint and you'll skip the next session. Your future consistency is more valuable than today's performance story.
Chat. Wear shoes you can actually move in. Save the fashion flippers for catwalks. Your ankles will applaud.
If you like tech, use a simple step counter to pull you outside daily, but don't turn it into an obedience collar. The goal is daylight, movement, and a quick look at the sky. Your circadian rhythm will treat it like a warm hug.
Let's do a quick checklist of adult assertiveness that isn't a parody. Speak in behaviors and timelines. Make requests small and specific. Offer one compromise you can live with. And if emotions are high, take a slow exhale and say, let's pick this up after tea. Miracles happen after tea.
Tea is the original conflict resolution tool. On the topic of substances, alcohol can turn sleep into a knockoff version of itself. That's not a moral point, just physiology. If you care about hormones and training gains, limiting drink is quietly powerful.
What about people who love cardio?
Keep it. Just add a little strength. Think of it as investing in your frame so the engine has somewhere to live. 2 short lifting sessions are a brilliant upgrade for runners and cyclists. Knees and hips write postcards of gratitude.
For those who like a challenge, set a 30-day habit streak that matches your life. 10 minutes of mobility daily. Cooking at home 5 nights a week. 1,000 words in a journal every weekend. No dates needed, just a streak you track in a notebook with satisfying ticks.
On the medical side, if therapy is indicated, get a clinician who treats you as a person, not a lab printout. Discuss risks, benefits, monitoring, and how the plan fits your future. You're interviewing them as much as they're advising you.
Quick housekeeping for viewers who love milestones. Pop reminders for your regular health checks, your training deload week, and a quarterly review of sleep, mood, and energy. Put them where you'll actually see them. Notes app, kitchen calendar, whatever wins.
Community building tips. Start a no-ego lifting group. Teach and learn technique. Talk about sleep and food without turning it into a religion. Celebrate consistency more than drama. Encourage checkups. Let older lifters mentor. Younger lifters help set up. Everyone gets a role.
And if you're shy, join an existing club or class. Walk in, say hello, tell the coach you're new or returning, and ask for one simple progression. 1 hour later, you'll have names, not just dumbbells.
I want to circle back to the final message that often gets sold. Master hormones and ignite your fire. There's a decent idea hiding in there, which is respect your biology so it supports your life. But the engine of your future is a calendar, a training log, a bedtime, a shopping list, a few honest conversations, and years of small course corrections. That's the fire that lasts through dull weather.
Put the rock down, pick up your diary, plan the week, text a friend, cook something nice, step outside, lift something sensible, sleep a bit earlier, tell the truth a bit sooner, ask for help a bit faster. That is not defeat. That is the win condition.
We should do a whimsical lightning round before we wrap.
Go on then.
Best warm-up.
8 minutes of brisk walking and mobility for hips, ankles, thoracic. No heroics, just oiling the hinges. Yours?
Carries. Suitcase carry across the gym, swap hands, repeat. It makes me feel like a practical human.
Favorite kitchen upgrade?
Big baking tray and parchment. Roast anything and you're halfway to dinner for 2 days.
Favorite sleep tweak?
Dim lights in the last hour and no scrolling in bed. Phone sleeps in the other room like a naughty parrot.
What's your calm in a cup?
Mint tea. Makes me feel like I've made a healthy decision, even if I had biscuits earlier.
Best beginner mistake to avoid?
Trying to do everything at once. Pick one main goal. Ride that bike for 8 weeks, then reassess.
Best advanced mistake to avoid?
Forgetting deloads. You're not a machine. Give your tissues a breather.
Pet peeve.
Shouting in the gym when your technique needs a hug. Quiet strength is a vibe.
Unexpected win.
Training with a friend who laughs at my worst jokes. Gains for the soul.
Quick recap for those scribbling notes. Lists can be fun, but your life needs habits. Hormones matter, but context rules. Skin and hair tell stories, not verdicts. Mood is channeled, not destined. Strength is boring and brilliant. Voice can be trained. The rock is a prop. Money belongs where habit lives. Life has seasons. Ask for help, build a crew, repeat easy things that make heavy things lighter.
And if you're looking for a starter plan, remember the blueprint we shared. 2 lower, 2 upper, a long walk, a fun active thing, 1 pure rest day. 3 or 4 proper meals, protein each time, plants every plate. A fixed wake time, 10 minutes of mind care, 1 hour invested in a friend. It's simple enough to fit into a real week and strong enough to change one.
I'll add one gentle nudge. If any of today's red flags sounded close to home, write down what you noticed and book that appointment. It's not a failure, it's stewardship.
Stewardship. That's a good word for the whole project. Not domination or drama. Looking after the life you've been given so it can look after others.
And somewhere in all this, let yourself enjoy being a person who trains, eats, sleeps, laughs, and learns. You're allowed joy. In fact, joy is strategic. Happy people keep showing up.
We kept it playful, had a few tangents, possibly insulted a squeaky belt, and hopefully gave you a map that feels human.
If you found this helpful, share it with a friend who loves a dramatic beard and a sensible plan. They exist. They need us.
Final sip of mint tea, then we land the plane.
Drop your comments below and subscribe to our channel. David and Monica are personas we use to make our content more engaging and relatable. We're not affiliated with any organization or product mentioned. Our discussions are just for inspiration and entertainment, not professional advice. Always think for yourself, take what works for you, and make your own decisions. See you next time.